be supporting others out there. I just want you to believe them first and foremost when they say that they are experiencing depressive symptoms. Believe them and help them navigate the journey.
Thank you so much for that, and it was refreshing to have Zaneo here. You know, he was transparent about his journey, and I would have mentioned to him that he put words to it, words to the pain, words to, you know, just how it felt and how it didn't feel, because sometimes he was even very, very numb. And I would have told him, you know, he put the words to it that some people don't have to explain. So it was very refreshing to have him here. And we are grateful, you know, for everything that he's pouring into the community and just filling us with light and laughter and still being, you know, transparent with the journey. So thank you, Philippa. And thank you for joining us. Until next time, give love and light to the people around you, but most importantly, don't you forget to give it to yourself. Join us next time for more Journey TV. Journey TV is presented by Ensure, Sign Island, Wildflowers, Dan Brad Limited, and Footprints Journey blog.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has responded to the questionnaire presented to them on March 4th by the Grand Bahama business community. A former member of the Grand Lucayan Renewal Holdings weighing in on the pending hotel sale. Also, construction continuing on a hurricane shelter in the Freeport area. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamila Missick. Thank you so much for joining us. Topping news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has responded to the questionnaire presented to them on March 4th, 2022 by the Grand Bahama business community. You may recall that a group of residents staged a demonstration at the Port Authority over concerns about the sluggish economy. Tonight, a local businessman and an advocate for small businesses is addressing the port's response and outlines the next step for the group. Here is Ramiko Knowles.
It was just several weeks ago when a team of protesters led by local businessman Darren Cooper took to the streets in Grand Bahama in protest against the Grand Bahama Port Authority. They presented port executives with a document and gave them 30 days to respond. Well, that 30 days is up and the port has responded. Businessman Darren Cooper expressing how he feels about that response.
I would not use the word satisfied, and I want to be fair with it. I am okay.
An 11-page document was issued in response to the questions posed to the Port Authority by the Grand Bahama business community. The port has responded to concerns regarding derelict buildings and vehicles, licensee protections, infrastructure and investments, and government relations, among others. Cooper says he is disappointed with several of their replies.
This document simply says to us as a people that there is a serious disconnect with government and Port Authority, and that must be under this administration corrected and fixed. There must be a better dialogue and better conversation with Port and the government in order for us to take this island to the next level.
Days following the protest, Cooper, along with stakeholders, met with port executives and eyebrows were raised as to how quickly things calmed down. Cooper says residents can rest assured knowing that they are continuing to hold the GBPA's feet to the fire.
Whilst many may be of the view that we are softening up on the Grand Bahama Port Authority, I want the residents of Grand Bahama to be very assured that we gave them 30 days. And on the 30th day, the Grand Bahama Port Authority would have issued to us the document, and we would have then given them the clearance to be able to release it to the public to say that we've reviewed it and we will continue to move forward from here. We are working, we are talking, we are on a constant, more constant than before, dialogue, communication on the way forward for Grand Bahama.
Nearly 50% of the questions posed to the port relate to investments, and in response, officials outlined more than $1 billion worth of investments in the pipeline for Grand Bahama, 10 of which are expected to be completed in the next 3 years.
The question that the Prime Minister left on the table was investor confidence is very low. The Port Authority would have been able to detail the pending investment that is set to be brought to Grand Bahama. Almost 20 new projects that's been listed out in this document, talking about the amount of investment, 2-point-some million in some projects, 50 million in some projects, 10 million in some projects. That was detailed in this document.
Referring to the document, Cooper says the port's response to government relations is quite lengthy, and that is where much of the focus is now.
What we are fighting for now as a people and as a body is to be able to bring the government and the Port Authority together. That has been a challenge, and that continues to be a challenge. Grand Bahama and residents want to be able to say to the port and to the government, nothing for us without us.
Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The end of April, that's the timeline the government expects to have an exclusive contract for the purchase of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Carrie Leonard, former director of the Grand Lucayan Renewal Holdings, the special vehicle for the sale of the resort property, says he supports the government's decision to terminate negotiations with the ITM Group Royal Caribbean joint venture. Leonard commends the government for setting an aggressive timeline. He says he does not know enough about the prospective purchasers, but he hopes the proposed timeline is achieved.
The work that is going on, I am sure, and this, it's going to take time. They may indeed be able to meet that deadline, but I really think that the public should not try and hold the government's feet to the fire on that deadline. If they miss it by even a month, I wouldn't be upset, because the main thing is to get a deal that is worthwhile and actually really impacts on the Bahamian economy, especially the economy of Grand Bahama, going forward over the next 10 years.
The government has announced that a private-public sector partnership is being pursued for the Grand Bahama International Airport, but Leonard says he hopes the government takes control of the harbor. He contends that it is far more valuable and notes that such a move would be in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
So far, Hutchison, who actually has management control of the harbor, has already set its own record of how they handle disasters when they happen here. They shut the place down. That's what they did with the hotel, and that's what they did with the airport. And if we get a very bad hurricane and it comes up the south and severely damages the harbor, my concern is that they just shut the harbor down.
In other news, construction is underway on the Evangeline Jervis Community Service Distribution Center, Hurricane Shelter, and Soup Kitchen. This multi-purpose building is expected to play a vital role in ensuring that safety and well-being of Grand Bahamians during the time of storm. Tonight, the organization gives an update on the construction of the building and plans on the way forward. The Evangeline Jervis Community Services Distribution Center well on its way to completion. That according to President of the Seventh-day Adventist Northern Bahamas Conference, Pastor Eric Danny Clark. Clark noting that the center was grown out of the experience from Hurricane Dorian.
Dorian was that Category 5 plus hurricane, and we had several hundred people up in the upstairs over at the church's hall, and on the second day, the entire roofing went flat, and we had to relocate the people into the sanctuary. And as a result of that, the people who were there for some 4 or 5 days, several hundred. They used the sanctuary for everything that you can imagine. And the membership got together and they decided that they didn't want to desecrate the sanctuary like that again. And a group of persons, some of them with me right now, along with others, decided that they wanted to construct a hurricane shelter and a soup kitchen for the benefit of the community.
Pastor Clark thanking the community for their assistance thus far, but is stressing the need for help in completing the structure before another hurricane comes.
We pray to God that we don't see another Dorian, yes? But we want to make sure that we who can think and reason put the plans in place that will ensure that we're not caught again with the proverbial pants down, all right? And so we have put together a team who are working assiduously to complete this, and we've reached a place where we need to reach out to the community and say, now, we need your help.
Board member Carlita Jervis Carolina says the next step for the building process includes completing the roof, the bathroom, and kitchen.
If you want to give us an industrial stove, we'll like to have it. The refrigerators, the freezers, we need the generator, we need the well dug, we need the outside. So we are in need of the basic things to finish. We need the cots. The plan is to have an open area, and everyone that comes during the hurricane, they will have a cot. And we also need the separators to keep families together. So your families will sleep on a cot in a separate area. We have lockers and showers and everything we'll need to get through the hurricane. The industrial kitchen will be there if the time is prolonged because of delay in getting things back together. We will have the ability and the capability of housing these people, up to maybe 300 people.
GBPA Manager of Group Corporate Affairs, Glendia Sweeting, says the Disaster Relief Foundation is excited about the effort and will continue to pledge their support.
We want to be able to help in any way that we can. We're very happy that, persons in the community now have a shelter to be able to come to if they need assistance. And it's been very difficult, certainly thinking about where we would have come from, but seeing where we're going and seeing now community partners coming together and working towards helping to prepare our island, it's very, very heartwarming. And so we want to be a part of that, and we're encouraging others to also be a part of that effort as well.
Now the total cost to complete the building is an estimated $460,000. Police on Grand Bahama recovered a quantity of suspected marijuana. Reports say yesterday, a team of officers from the Northeastern Division went to Settlers Way and searched under the rear seat of a derelict vehicle, where they discovered a clear plastic wrapping with a quantity of suspected marijuana. No arrest was made and investigations are continuing. A few hours later, police arrested a male for possession of dangerous drugs in the 8 Mile Rock area. Police tell us that officers, while on routine mobile patrol in the area of John Rule Corner, situated in Bartlett Hill, observed a male acting in a suspicious manner. A search was conducted of his person, and officers reportedly found a clear Ziploc bag containing a quantity of suspected marijuana in his front right pants pocket. He was taken into custody. Meanwhile, police arresting an Abaco man for possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. Police say around 4 o'clock this morning, officers received a report of a prowler on the premises at an apartment complex on Forest Drive. When officers arrived at the scene, they observed a male clad in a black hooded jacket exiting the rear of the apartment complex. Reports say the male ran upon seeing the officers. The officers gave chase and apprehended the man. A search was conducted of the man and the surrounding area. Police say a black 9mm Taurus pistol with a magazine containing 8 live rounds of ammunition were found near a stack of wood. The man was taken into custody. And tonight we begin season 1 of Grand Bahama Facts, sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and Western Air. Here is our first trivia segment, but you have to go to our Facebook page to give the answer.
Near Heburnstown Seaside, in the largest settlement of Grand Bahama, you'll find the 8 Mile Rock boiling hole. Witch Creek flows into a clear lake called the Boiling Hole. Ambrister Creek, Hebron Creek, Jones Creek, Deadman's Creek. Stay tuned to the end of our newscast to find out.
Come on down to Dolly Madison Home Center's Easter Week Lawn and Garden Department Sale. Going on from April 11th to 16th. Deals galore. Don't miss it.
Come on down now. We have safely protected your lives, assets, and aspirations for over 100 years. That's a lot of protection. At BAF, we know that our commitment to you goes beyond a policy or an investment. It's a commitment. Find out how to grow with us. And if you are already with us, find out how we can help you grow even more. Because when you choose BAF, we are with you for life.
KMW Battery and Tires. Brake installation. Brake parts not included. Labor starts at $40. Open up Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in today.
It's Third Dimension's Easter sale. Take 20% off their home improvement store. Tiles and doors not included. Cash, debit, credit card purchases only. April 8th and 9th.
Bad little lady, yeah, she been driving me crazy. When she looking her lips and moving them hips like, come here, baby. I wanna take it down now.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Reflections continue to pour in for beloved veteran educator and athlete Anita Dougherty, who will be laid to rest this weekend. Tonight, many are reflecting on her love and dedication for children.
And then a hero comes along with a...
She was well respected, but also well loved. Those sentiments coming from those who knew the late Anita Dougherty. Co-chairman of the Grand Bahama Games, Cecil Thompson, describing Dougherty as a world-class athlete who became the first Bahamian PE teacher at the Hawksbill High School. Thompson, who has known Dougherty for 40-plus years, says she was legendary even from an early age.
From a young age, went to boarding school in Jamaica, 10, 11 years old. I never played netball, never played netball and tennis before. Yet, in high school, she was the netball and the tennis champion of Jamaica. Not the school, the national champion, you know, while in high school. And then after that, she moved on to university in Ireland and did the same thing all over again, and she added track and field her resume.
Apart from athletics, Dougherty was also a veteran educator. David Wallace extending condolences on behalf of the Freeport High School Alumni Association, where he says Dougherty entered in 1979 for the first time as a teacher. He says she served for some 40 years, not only as an educator, but as an administrator.
She's taken that school to new heights. It became the choice school of the North, according to her. She celebrated with the Alumni Associations during our 25th anniversary reunion in 1991, our 30th anniversary, our 46th anniversary reunion, and when we celebrated the 50th anniversary, we celebrated her as one of the most outstanding principals that had served this institution.
District Superintendent of Education Ivan Butler, who says Dougherty was a colleague, a part of the Principal and Vice Principal Association, says what he remembers most is her commitment to children.
She was a true warrior, and even though we competed on the playing field, she always wanted what was best for all children. She would, take a moment to coach or instruct children from the public school, or even give us sound advice as to what is needed or how she could have helped our students in the public school.
Deputy Director of Sports for the Northern Bahamas, Norris Bain, acknowledging Anita Dougherty as one of the women who helped mold him as an educator. He recalls their fond memories.
I love farming, and every time I grew something, or if she figured that I was growing something, she'd pick up the phone and call me and say, why haven't I arrived at her house yet with her grains? And so it was customary for me to go and carry her some bok choy or some kale or cucumbers or whatever was growing in the garden. She would ask me, what is growing in the garden? So certainly I'm going to miss Anita for her contributions to not just the school system, but the island of Grand Bahama as a mentor, as a mother, as a mover for this particular island.
Now, among many other positions, Dougherty was also the Assistant Secretary of the Grand Bahama Games. And Churchill Tanner Knoll says discussions are in order to name the Grand Bahama Games in her honor.
And we all know her ability to track and field. We all know her ability as a tennis player. And of course, outstanding work was done mainly as a teacher. So it's only fitting that, we honor people. Unfortunately, we always do it when they're gone. And they can't smell the roses. But Anita knows she was loved.
Anita Dougherty will be laid to rest on Saturday, April 9th, following funeral services at the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King Anglican Church. In other news, officials from Monroe College hosting an information session at the Grand Lucayan Convention Center to give information on opportunities they have to offer, not only for students on the island, but also for local businesses. Michelle Mama, Vice President of Admissions, says the college has 4 locations and offers a program called Corporate Partnership, which helps persons with job opportunities and provides discounts on their tuition fees.
Monroe College has offered over $5 million of scholarships every single year. So right now we are offering scholarships for students for our housing opportunity, especially here on the island with culinary, IT, and early childhood education. So anyone who might be interested, we definitely have an opportunity for that particular one. But Monroe College also looks at each family's situation to see what else we can do to help them. And we're just hoping that people understand that Monroe's here to help grow and support the Bahamas, and whether it be Nassau, whether it be Grand Bahama, anyone in the Bahamas are eligible to come to Monroe for an education.
Monroe College Residence Life Coordinator Denzel Daniel says the culture is very family-oriented. He adds that the benefits provide experience along with knowledge, which helps them to build a strong community on campus.
You have support from your academic advisors, you have support from faculty and staff, and every single person at Monroe is extremely in tune with everything going on around them. Every office is an open door policy, which means that you have access to high-level administration, even while being a student there. Any Grand Bahamians definitely thinking about what that next step is. I know it might be hard, especially in these trying times, but do not give up. There are opportunities out there, especially for students from any background. So this is just one of the opportunities. Do not limit yourself. Go above and beyond in everything that you do.
Another session is currently underway to give further information about the learning environment at the institution. In other news, telecommunications company Alive continuing to be an active community partner by baking some sweet treats for the Special Olympics team on Autism Awareness Day this past Saturday. Alive Marketing Coordinator Jacolia Brainin and Operations Lead for the Northern Bahamas, Prashana Demerit, say they are pleased to be able to put smiles on the faces of those on the team.
Alive has been a partner with the bocce and soccer team for many years now. And Alive just saw it fit to come here to support them with the Special Olympics team. So this morning, Alive team gathered at the Alive headquarters to bake some cookies. And so we just wanted to show our full support, and that's why we are here with the team.
At Alive, we do have a strong belief in community. That is one of our pillars, and so every week, we're here, we're in the community, we want to show our support. And as mentioned, just coming on the heels of autism, we just thought it would have been fitting that this particular weekend we come out, show our love, show support for the team. We just ecstatic to be here.
Special Olympics soccer coach Mark Hardy thanking Alive on behalf of the team for the kind gesture.
So appreciative of Alive coming out today and showing their support. They very generously have baked these cookies for us. Like all young people, they love chocolate chip cookies. So we're very, very appreciative of that. Not only giving us the cookies, but actually coming out as a group and showing their support. I think that's very important. I think you saw the enthusiasm with the athletes we have and how excited they were for Alive to come, for yourselves to come as well. So it just gives that little buzz, that little kick that just helps us. So it's wonderful.
And now it's time for your Wednesday evening sports check with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. We have a whole lot of sports updates on this beautiful Wednesday. Let's jump right in it. The Color Me Awesome Fun Run Walk set to take place this weekend, Saturday, April 9th. Event coordinator, Coach Rayvana Ferguson, has the blueprint.
The walk is a nice 5K walk, 3 miles. You're going to walk to the Lucayan roundabout and back, and it's literally 3 miles. So you can't miss it. It's a nice walk. For those competitive people, we have the competitive aspect where you could run. So we just want to encourage everybody to come out and support it. We have definitely have medals for the first place finishers in the various categories, as well as we're going to raffle a few prizes.
Switching gears now, in aquatics, 7 members from Grand Bahama recently qualified for the Curve to Swim Championships, set to take place in Bridgetown, Barbados, April 16th through the 19th. The swimmers have ramped up their training at the YMCA pool in preparation for the games.
I took part in the 400-meter freestyle, the 200-meter freestyle, the 100-meter freestyle, and the 50. And I actually will be swimming all 4 of those events at Barbados.
I have 7 Carifta events in total. I wanted the 400 IM, but my cap and goggles came off in that race, and I was like 2 seconds away from that. I was like really mad, but then I was so happy because I have 7.
I trained hard for this, make sure, came to practice every day, and just tried my best at every meet.
My focus is really just trying to get a medal for myself this time. Have fun with the team members, encourage everyone to do well, just be good for everyone else, and hopefully that reflects back on me.
Now the athletes will be accompanied by Coach Andy Lovett, who will also serve as one of the assistant coaches for Team Bahamas. Now in high school sports scores from the Grand Bahama Secondary School Athletic Association Under-13 and Under-17 Boys Basketball Tournament at the Jack Haywood Gym. In the Under-13 Boys, 8-man Rock Blue Jays edged out the Stingers of Sunland 29-24. Ledford Rigby was your high point man with 13 points for the Blue Jays, while Robert Ramsey tallied 8 points for the Stingers. In the other Under-13 Boys game, it was all Tabernacle as they took care of business, defeating BMES to the tune of 29-9. Randy Miller had 11 points for the Falcons. Tanaj Mortimer scored 3 points for the Warriors. In the Under-17 Boys game, Sunland Stingers was able to hold off BMES 46-42 in a close one. Gianna Murray led the Stingers with 11 points. Aaron Forbes had 11 as well for the Warriors in a losing effort. And finally, in sports, Little League Baseball will continue this week at the Mara Baseball Park on Thursday. In Major League Play, the Lions will take on Fortune 360. In Coach Pitch, the Predators will match up against the Red Sox. Both games scheduled to begin at 5:30. That's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Esquire Men's Report presents Passion for Fashion, Saturday, April 23rd from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Lucayan Shopping Center. Admission is free.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married?
Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them.
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you you have BTC Home Internet to unite with our mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with Z&S to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Derek Wilson, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We thank you for your support.
If Ambrista Creek was your guess, you are correct. Grand Bahama Facts is sponsored by the Ministry for Grand Bahama.
Karen Lewis was the winner of today's trivia. Don't forget to tune in again on Friday for another trivia question sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and Western Air. That's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for joining us. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Tonight, the National Report, 3 former cabinet ministers and an artist among the newly appointed diplomats. A legislative move to further strengthen the financial services sector, a double shot to the homicide count, and Lucius Fox to make Nationals opening day roster. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopindo. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. The government's moving swiftly to strengthen legislation aimed at protecting children from sexual predators while also seeking to address other social ills and human rights shortfalls. Here's what the Attorney General told our Cleopatra Murphy.
Legislation to address inconsistencies when it comes to the age of juvenile consent in the country could be presented to Cabinet by next week. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder says the legislation was a part of a suite of 20-plus bills from gender-based violence to human rights issues that his office has decided to separate.
If you would actually look at all of the different pieces of legislation in the country that addresses juveniles, you'll see numerous inconsistencies in ages, of what you can do as a juvenile and not do as a juvenile. So, for instance, you can get married at a certain age, but you can't go and get medical treatment by yourself at a certain age, even if you're married. Right? So these things are all inconsistencies throughout.
His comments come on the heels of immense public backlash, with some even calling for Minister of National Security the Honorable Wayne Munro's resignation after he suggested that a 40-year-old man's 4-year prison sentence for impregnating a 14-year-old girl was too harsh when reports indicate that she had consented.
So what we're looking to do on the juvenile side is we're looking to provide recommendations to Cabinet on all of these discrepancies throughout all the different pieces of legislation and to get a consensus on equalizing the age so there's less confusion and there's more routine and more transparency in how we deal with juvenile matters.
Pinder says 16 to 18 years old is the international benchmark, but the decision will ultimately be up to Cabinet. He indicates government is looking to bring more understanding and equality among legislation when it comes to juvenile offenses and advancing the framework to improve the juvenile court.
As important as it is to have the legal framework, it is equally, if not more important, to be able to enforce that legal framework and do it in a timely fashion. Because with juvenile matters, you want to avoid as much delay as possible, because then the juveniles grow up and they put that trauma behind them, possibly trying to advance a new life, and then when you try to bring them back after years to testify, there's resistance and reluctance as well, and rightfully so. You could understand that.
Pinder says he wanted to address juvenile issues first, but they will soon be followed by other key pieces of legislation, including sexual offenses, along with immigration and citizenship matters in separate blocks.
I had them all together, and it just became a little too voluminous. And these are important issues for the Bahamas and important issues for Bahamians, and I think they need the adequate focus and attention.
When it comes to better addressing juvenile matters, Pinder says the aim is to have a standalone juvenile court that appreciates and can process claims quickly to provide better enforcement. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, the head of the Christian Council is calling for more to be done to eliminate gender-based violence and other forms of abuse across the country. He shared the council's concerns with our Fern Carey.
The Bahamas Christian Council is supporting government's intention to raise the legal age of sexual consent in the country from 16 to 18. This in the midst of public outrage stemming from the unlawful sex case of a 14-year-old girl who was impregnated by a 40-year-old man, who was then sentenced to 4 years behind bars and 3 years parole after agreeing to a plea deal. Council President Apostle Delton Fernander asserts that more must be done to prevent children becoming victims of such predatory behavior.
I'm a father. We all know that the church believes that sex should be in the bounds of marriage, and the legal age for marriage is 18. And so I believe that there's going to be support, and I am supporting that the age of consent be 18, as the church is bound by the Word of God that sex is in the bounds of marriage.
Now, there's also a push for our justice and social systems to be changed in order to make a real difference in the country.
As a society, is supposed to protect our young, our vulnerable, those that cannot help themselves. And if we are producing predators, I think as a society, we ought to find ways to weed them out, find ways that we can rehabilitate them, but also find ways to protect our young daughters, our young sons, and those that are helpless to these predators in our society.
Meanwhile, he contends that the religious community stands ready to help those grappling with gender-based violence.
Enclave, and we committed as a church as being a responsible partner. The church runs a lot of youth programs, and also we have specialty pastors that deal with the gang violence and the like. And if those programs are going to work, they need more than volunteers. They need financing. They need the ability to have grant programs like big nations do. And I think the time has come.
Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Well, 7 Bahamians added to the diplomatic corps, making up the ambassadors and consuls general, seasoned politicians and entrepreneurs, all of whom were officially introduced this afternoon during a ceremony at the Balmoral Club. Anita Swain tells us more.
I solemnly and sincerely swear by Almighty God that I will be bound by the Official Secrets Act of the Bahamas and agree that the provisions apply not only during the period of my appointment, but also after my appointment has ceased.
Former Cabinet Minister Her Excellency Hope Strawn sworn in as the new ambassador and permanent representative to UNESCO. She, along with 6 others, taking their commission and oath of office Wednesday during a ceremony at Balmoral Club. Other new members of the diplomatic corps: businessman Winston Pinnock, who now serves as ambassador to the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO. Former Bahamas telecommunications head Leon Williams assumes the role of ambassador to the International Telecommunications Union. Meantime, former Cabinet Minister Damian Gomez has been chosen ambassador at large to the Inter-American Council on Human Rights. Ambassador at large for Cultural Affairs is His Excellency celebrity artist Jamal Roll. Attorney and former politician Ron Pinder was appointed ambassador at large to the Independent Celebration Committee, while public relations specialist Al Dillette is the Bahamas Consul General to Toronto. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell had these words for the country's newest envoys.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs employees are agents of the government. So when you become an ambassador or a foreign service officer, you no longer have your own opinions. And therefore, venting on Facebook is not an option because you're acting on behalf of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Returning to the Foreign Service as Director General is Rhoda Jackson, who was given specific instructions.
What we want to do is to structure a team that understands the nature of agency and the nature of reporting relationships. So when the Prime Minister speaks, he's properly briefed, and when a diplomat speaks, that diplomat understands that they are truly speaking in the fullest sense as a plenipotentiary on behalf of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Responding on behalf of the group was Consul General Dillette.
On behalf of myself and the other in our group of envoys, I will say that it is our intention, and please pass this on to the Prime Minister, to do our level best to represent the country and to continue the contributions in the international affairs of state as best we can.
We can tell you that Strawn and Williams have already presented their credentials to the organizations they now represent. As for the new envoy, they have all received their marching orders. Anita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, also announcing additional sanctions to be imposed on Russia. The Bahamas is being asked to join the European Union, the United Kingdom and United States to co-sponsor the resolution for Russia's suspension at the International Human Rights Council.
That we are in discussions with our CARICOM partners. We've already communicated our position, but you know, under the treaty obligations, we are supposed to be acting in concert, or we shouldn't actually go out publicly without sort of letting our allies know what we're doing. So the Prime Minister is engaged in those discussions now, and so there'll be a public statement about it in the coming hours. There's a prohibition in dealing with any sanctioned entity or person. So if that includes ships that are owned by sanctioned persons or entities. So we can't deal with them. So that means, for me, that they can't come in because you can't deal with them.
Now to news from Parliament. Senators today debating a compendium of financial services bills. Leading things off, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honourable Ryan Pinder, who says the proposed amendments will pave the way for the continued modernization of the sector's international regulatory obligations while providing adequate penalty provisions to deter violations of the law.
We must achieve 40 for 40 compliance, even though the vast majority of the world does not. Even though only one country in this hemisphere does. And even though I think there are only 3 or 4 countries in the entire world that do, the Bahamas has to, because we are judged differently. And we need to have excellence and perfection in this regard, because it filters down to our people. And it filters down to our people having a normal life in the financial environment of the country and the world. And if we can't achieve that, we have done a disservice to our people.
The Attorney General's office is working on being re-rated by the Financial Action Task Force, the international money laundering and terrorist financing watchdog.
Next month, the Bahamas will make application to upgrade of the Recommendation 8 from a partially compliant status, which is a failing status, to a largely compliant, or better yet, a compliant status. This exercise entails conducting a risk assessment, a regulatory oversight, and sustained outreach as it relates to the not-for-profit sector in the country.
Well, opposition Senate leader Darren Henfield endorses the financial services bills, reasoning that efforts to revisit the reporting requirements for religious institutions in the country are timely.
We are very pleased to hear that the government is revisiting the reporting requirements for churches, whom in the general scheme of things are minor players in this regard. And so I commend the government for that. Obviously, we have the right man in the chair, and we are going to get the kind of results that we seek.
Still to come, tourism's growth maintained and the AG lauds the country's FATF standing. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. Say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
What makes an icon? Is it 80 years in the business? Or inventing a recipe that changes the way we enjoy chicken around the world? No. What makes an icon are the fans. Order KFC and take home a true mealtime icon.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Tourism has seen its fair share of bruises, but nothing beats a big win like the Bahamas has been enjoying now for months, and one official's prey continues. And as they say, numbers don't lie. So let's take a look at what the central bank came up with.
No doubt there's still the need for caution amid lingering pandemic conditions, but overall, tourism numbers are still on the up and up. And one need only consider the provisional data from the Ministry of Tourism, which shows that arrivals by first port of entry shot up by more than 10 times to 312,201 in January from just 23,619 during the same period a year earlier. Pushing these numbers, air arrivals increased to 71,908 from 20,792. Sea traffic from 240,293 compared to 2,827 a year earlier. Not to be left behind, Grand Bahama's foreign arrivals looking good as well, rising from 1,052 to 9,768, with air and sea outcomes of 1,775 and 7,993 respectively. Likewise, traffic to the Family Islands bounced back to 139,779 visitors. Foreigners, not the only ones taking to the skies. The most recent data from the Nassau Airport Development Company points to total departures of domestic passengers growing to 80,276 in February from 16,098 in the corresponding month of 2021. Specifically, U.S. departures moved from 15,058 to 69,653, while non-U.S. departures improved to 10,623. It was just 1,040 a year earlier. In the short-term vacation rental market, equally positive trends. Total room nights sold increased to 98,389 compared to 50,906. In particularly, occupancy rates for both entire place and hotel listings rose 55.2% and 50.7% respectively, vis-a-vis 43.6% and 38.7% a year prior.
Meantime, the Bahamas among the top 10 central banks in the world for retail payments. That's according to the PwC's 2022 Central Bank Digital Currency Global Index report. Right behind Nigeria's Naira, the central bank's sand dollar made the Bahamas the first country to launch a central bank digital currency. The report notes that Jamaica and the Eastern Caribbean are developing digital currency of their own. The report surveyed that more than 80% of central banks globally are considering launching a central bank digital currency or have already done so. An anti-terrorism seminar to protect the financial services sector wrapping up in the capital. Our Carla Palmer lets us in on what came out of it.
Identifying unscrupulous donors, preventing money laundering, and counterterrorism financing are the principal reasons for the training and risk assessment workshop of non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, being mounted by the Attorney General's Office, Legal Affairs Division.
It is to ensure that not-for-profits are not misused by terrorist organizations, for one, to pose as legitimate entities, so a terrorist organization posing as a legitimate not-for-profit, to exploit legitimate entities like yourselves as conduits for terrorist financing, so manipulating your good activities for the purposes of financing their bad activities, and to conceal or obscure the diversion of funds intended for legitimate purposes but diverted for terrorist purposes.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, described the work of NGOs as essential in helping those less fortunate. And for the Bahamas, remaining compliant with the Financial Action Task Force, FTAF, which he says is critical.
This misuse undermines the donor confidence and undermines the integrity of the not-for-profit organizations. And it's absolutely necessary that the Bahamas keeps pace in order to remain relevant and successful in the global economy.
There are just over 1,000 NGOs registered in the Bahamas, and upon completion of a desktop review, just over 60 of them were classified as high-risk targets for terrorists. The Attorney General assured the Bahamas remains in compliance with 38 of the 40 Financial Action Task Force recommendations, and in the country's next FATF resubmission, he wants us to meet all 40 recommendations.
I spoke to the EU Commissioner just last week, and she raised the question, well, why does it take you 30 or 60 days to open a bank account in the Caribbean when it takes us 30 or 60 minutes? I told her, I said, it's in part because we are judged differently. And when the EU judges us, or the FATF, or some other country judges us, and they say you're non-compliant with X, Y, and Z, it's the banking institutions that then say we are a high-risk jurisdiction and impose all of these intense requirements on us doing business and banking and in the financial markets in the Bahamas. And so that's why it's important that we strive for excellence here.
This two-day workshop, which started on Tuesday, comes to an end today. At the Bahama Convention Center, I'm Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
You may have to get an early start on purchasing key items for your traditional Good Friday meal, and that includes fish. This while fishermen are hoping to score a big catch this Easter holiday following COVID's hit to their wallets. Our Desmond Saunders got reaction from several Port of Ski dock vendors.
Well, several days left before thousands commemorate Good Friday with a traditional, savory, fish-based meal. Local fishermen are hoping to rebound from the COVID crisis that saw depressed consumer spending and sluggish sales. Proprietor of Neil Diamond Fish Vendors, O'Neill Ambrose, says he's ready.
This year is basically Easter, is basically the fisherman Christmas. We look forward to it every year to put $1 in our pocket to pay 1 or 2 bills and try. We have a better way of life.
It's been tough for you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Some days you come out, you make $1. Some days you don't. It's an honest living, like every other business. It's of its in and outs.
Whether it's a popular Bahamian snapper or the flavorful jacks, there's a smorgasbord of fish in a variety of shapes and sizes waiting to be cooked or grilled, and fish vendor Sonia Marshall can help you with just what you need.
Just relaxing. Relax, sell the fish. Attend to the customer when they come by and ask prices on what type of fish they want, how they want it prepared, and all of that.
Now, this is expected to be a busy period for local fishermen, and local fish lovers can expect to pay a little bit more for these delicacies this time around.
Because you expect to spend more on fish compared to last season. Last season, a kilo of fish would average about $180. Now the season average about $250 to close to $300 some places.
For instance, like the Margaret fish, what everybody like to buy. They notice that some people say $80 a kid. Now, Margaret fish is like $130 a bag.
Rising fuel costs due to global inflation also contributing to the hike in fish sales.
Due to the high cost in fuel and the high cost of living, due to the increase, that trickle down on the fish industry. So too, the crawfishing, people tend to do the crawfishing as well. Everybody focus on the big bucks, rather than focus on the small bucks, which is snapper. Compared, you getting $25 a pound versus $180, $200. So they focus on the large amount.
Mixed reaction by Port of Ski vendors on the upcoming Good Friday fish sales rush, with many expecting some relief after months of turmoil due to COVID-19. Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
Health is the greatest gift. That's
That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
From the time we open, we create moments of joy for everyone we serve. We use every encounter to show how we are different. Stop in and enjoy our freshly prepared breakfast on the go for your family. Or even having your favorite food delivered where you can easily connect with your friends. Our commitment is serving you quality food from our restaurant. Go ahead and dip your French fries in your frosting. Cheers to better days ahead. That's what makes Wendy's different on the inside and out.
You're invited to Southland Cathedral. Resurrection Celebration Services, Holy Week Revival, April 14th and 15th, 2022, 7 p.m. nightly. With special guest speakers, Bishop Paul Mark.
Shout! 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 He will! Shout about it! Shout about it! He will!
Pastor Tolan Morgan.
Because they already heard that the God you serve splits seas, pulls out water out of a rock, brings down bread out the air. So your reputation done got there, and they trying to block you before you get healing. And tell your neighbor, lift your voice and shout.
And our special guest psalmist, Benita Jones. Right here at Southland Cathedral, 384 West Soldier Road, Nassau, Bahamas. All COVID protocols will be enforced.
Local intensive care units free of COVID-19 patients, a big plus in the fight against the pervasive virus that has lingered now for 2 years. Also noteworthy is the continued downward trend in hospitalizations, which, based on the April 5th dashboard, is at 9, one less than the previous day. Meantime, one other person tested positive for the illness, this time a female resident of New Providence who traveled within 14 days. As of Tuesday, there were 93 active COVID cases, 4 recoveries, and 167 RT-PCR tests were completed. On morgue IDs and funeral arrangements, the grim task of 2 families here in the capital after loved ones were gunned down in 2 separate incidents, the 4th and 5th such crimes this week. We can tell you it was around 10 last night when the bullet-riddled body of a man was found lying on the ground of the Mother Pratt Park, 2nd Street, The Grove, and Ponciana Avenue.
Police were alerted to the sounds of gunshot on Sutton Street off Camp Road. Officers were dispatched, and on the arrival of the first responders, they met a male lying just outside his front door, suffering from gunshot wounds. The emergency medical services visited the scene and later pronounced the male lifeless. Our investigators are canvassing the area at this time seeking to put the pieces together, as the details are somewhat sketchy, and that's what we have for you in respect to this incident.
Well, as you just heard, that was the details of the Camp Road, Sutton Street off Camp Road incident that happened just 2 hours after the first homicide.
A male was seated watching a basketball game when a lone gunman walked up to him and discharged a weapon, fatally wounding him. We appeal to members of both communities who may have any information to contact your various area commanders. In that instance, at the Grove Community Station would be Mr. Hanna, and here in the Camp Road area would be Mr. Adrian Curry, who is the Chief Superintendent responsible at the Wolf Road Police Station.
113 Haitian nationals making a one-way trip home yesterday. The 84 men, 21 women, and 8 minors left New Providence on a Bahamas Air flight for Port-au-Prince shortly after 9 a.m. The Department of Immigration's deportation unit led the exercise, with all COVID-19 protocols being strictly enforced. Well, he's been out of office for a while, but Great Commission Ministries President Bishop Walter Hanschel is in full recovery mode, having received treatment abroad for both stomach and kidney cancer. Truth is, it neither stopped the work of his Wolf Road organization, as CGM continues to respond to the increasing demand for help across communities in New Providence.
We have a board of directors that are helping out. We have a full staff. Our full staff is still on the ground working every day. Great Commission is doing all the things that we used to do. We're still feeding the hungry. We're still providing shelter for homeless people, in particular women and their children who find themselves without a bed. We are still providing shelter for them. We are still reaching out to the at-risk youth. We are still doing what we've been called to do.
And that high demand for help even included finding shelter for young mother Carissa Culmer, the recent victim of an apparent suicide. Plans now underway to construct a multi-million-dollar shelter for residents in desperate need.
A $3 million, 100-bed, state-of-the-art homeless shelter on Carmichael Road. The plans, we had it for 70 beds, and the Lord told me to go bigger. And we revised the plans to 100 beds, and that would make a big dent in homelessness in Nassau, because we're going to be able to help more mothers, more men, more husbands, more fathers who are struggling, who are evicted, or they have no job and they cannot afford to pay rent.
In other news, if you're looking to burn some serious calories but hoping to try something a little different, an Asian-based high-intensity fitness routine has made its way to the Bahamas. Our Crystal Darling has all the details of this fat-busting routine in this week's Staying Fit feature.
Tabata is the latest fitness workout of Japanese origin that has risen in recent popularity around the world. It's now here in the Bahamas. As Evolve Functional Fitness Tabata coach Tony Ramming explains, this cardio workout can be used to target every muscle.
HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. All right, that's centered around cardio. Now the difference between HIIT and Tabata is Tabata forces you to put stress on your cardiovascular system by working out for a particular time frame. And the rest is significantly shorter than the actual workout period. Whereas at your regular HIIT, you have more leniency to take a longer break in between sets. So today we'll be running through a Tabata, which is going to be pretty much a fast-paced HIIT cardio. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get to the ropes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. 15 seconds. Yeah. Good.
And the workout is so diverse that it can be tailored to fit just about any age group.
It doesn't necessarily focus on a particular demographic. It's just the amount of intensity, the level of intensity and the type of workout. From your seniors to your youth, anywhere in between, it's just a matter of gauging where your fitness level is at to make an accommodating workout for you. If they want to focus on legs, upper body, or full body, it's up to the person. But for you today, that'll be full body. Yeah.
So full body it was. Everything from legs to arms to core were all included target areas in this assorted workout. Tabata exercises can range anywhere from jumping jacks to battle ropes with short breaks that end in a matter of seconds in between sets.
First, you want to make sure the kettlebell is directly underneath the torso. You want to make sure your knees are nice and wide and pressure is in the heels, not the balls of the feet, all right? The core is tight. You want to draw that navel into the spine. So from here, I'm driving through my heels, bringing it up along my torso, getting it underneath my chin, elevating my elbows all together. So my chest never drops below me. My chest stays in front of me.
Tabata is a full body workout that requires lots of energy, but it is totally worth it, so you should give it a shot. Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
Good job, Crystal. And as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Good morning. My name is Norma Jane Knowles. I live in the settlement of Red Bay, Andros. The Seminoles, and I love to tell people I am a black Seminole descendant. The Seminole came to Andros, and we all know that by canoe. After the war, and they were chased off their land, they end up taking several canoes. Some end up in Cuba, some end up in Andros, west side, and that's where we are. They were here for some time, and that's how this straw work really came about. And then when you look around, especially in Red Bay area, we have so many silver palm. You know, you can't go short on getting silver palm because it's all around you. Our community is a very small community. Our population is less than 500. When the Indians came here, it wasn't that many of them, but it was the Russells that were in the canoe, the Lewis, the Bullaggs, McNeil. We do in this community to keep this alive. My oldest grandkid is 7, but I have to teach him the process. So I give him a needle because I know he's able to use the needle without hurting himself. So I said, okay, now you have to strip for Grammy. So this is what he do. He stripped the top for me. At one time ago in Red Bay, most of the men would have sewed basket. My husband is an excellent basket maker. This is not only our culture, but this is our heritage. It's something we inherited. Our forefathers were doing it, and we continue to keep the tradition alive. So this is something that is done within the entire community. Every household in the community makes some sort of basket, even to the children. So this is something that everybody does.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with family guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family, join the family, family guardian. Protect the ones you love, a friend that you can trust, family guardian.
Every school requires advocates for the continued development of its visions and goals. The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training encourages you to become a member of the school board and contribute to the growth of our students and our schools. Nomination day for school board elections is set for Friday, April 8th, 2022, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon, at which time all candidates must submit their nomination papers to the school's principal. Candidates must be Bahamian, age 18 or older, and be nominated by 2 guardians of a student enrolled in the school. School board elections will take place on Friday, April 29th, 2022. Submit your nomination for a school board position and seize the opportunity to make a difference.
We get it. Life happens. And when it does, Easy Payday is here for you. Whether it's cash for school fees, a vacation, or even a loan consolidation, no matter what your needs are, we are here for you when you need us most. Eligible applicants can borrow up to $15,000. Visit us at our new location on University Drive. Give us a call at 603-0200 or apply online at easypayday.loans. Easy Payday loans are simple, fast, and easy.
Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
2 years in, and Hurricane Dorian survivors continue to rebuild their lives. Tonight, we have the inspiring story of a young Abaco fishing vendor who shares her success story with our Desmond Saunders.
Tonique Burtis is an Abaco farmer and fish vendor now reliving a heart-wrenching experience that has changed her life. Dorian's destruction causing a complete shutdown of her thriving fishing business in Abaco.
I'm not sure how I would have rebuilt after Doreen when there was nothing here.
Dorian's damage pegged in the billions, while its impact on the local fishing and farming industries totaling millions of dollars. Tonique credits the help of Global Food and Disaster Relief Agency World Central Kitchen, who has provided temporary relief and a ray of hope.
They granted us $20,000 that assisted us with rebuilding our fishing business, helping me get my boat repowered with an engine, helping us with ice supply as with an ice machine and freezer to store our goods properly. Overall, on fishing,
this married vendor has struggled with business financing for years. She's now expanding her operations to cater to wholesale establishments. She's also purchased 2 boats and is now getting ready to set up her weekly farmers market.
you need to have that plan, that business plan and idea of what do you want to do, and seeing where the product is and how you're going to be able to obtain that product and what is needed. So setting your little business plan in place that helps you to create a plan to work towards. With putting that plan in place, searching areas like Central Kitchen, because they offer yearly grants towards assisting business that are established and possibly businesses that want to get established.
Months after Dorian's wrath and the staggering effects of COVID-19, this local entrepreneur is back on her feet. She's encouraging local farmers and fishermen to not lose hope, remaining optimistic, and use obstacles as a springboard for success. Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, he's making his presence felt in a meaningful way. Native Androsian and Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands, Leonardo Lightbourne, recently completed a 6-legged school tour with the goal of inspiring youngsters to achieve. Lloyd Allen has this report from Andros.
Spirits remain high following a comprehensive tour by Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands as he visited schools across the Big Yard last week. That tour starting in Stanyard Creek.
The Honourable Leonardo Lightbourne, welcome to Stanyard Creek Primary.
Bearing gifts, the MP presented a number of items to encourage the students to continue on the road of learning while staying safe.
I'm sure that the students will use them to the best of their ability.
Lightbourne then made his way to Mastic Point, visiting Roselda Woodside Primary, followed by Low Sound Primary School.
It's a part of our safety, health and safety, so we are so happy to have the masks and sanitizers.
We have our kids here who are the foundations of where we are. So today is essential for me to first and foremost to be here with our students, to show them that they have a member of parliament who cares about their well-being. Later down in the school year, we're looking to do a lot more educational projects with them.
Making a similar visit at Clara Evans Primary, Bertram Newton Primary, and Huntley Christie High School, students had a chance to showcase their unique talent. And for them, the recognition is well received.
This morning, I just wanted to present the small appreciation, the small token of my appreciation.
Thank you. It means the world to me.
Keeping at the forefront, health. The North Andros and Berry Islands MP promises this is the first of a number of visits, all centered on building students throughout the area. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. We are under clear skies this evening. Temperature at 81 degrees. The relative humidity 78%. We have southerly winds at 14 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,014.3 millibars. That's 29.95 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening. They are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 79 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Toll Key, and Marshall, Babico, the Berry Islands. A warm 84 degrees, 84. Also in Alistown, Bimini. Harbor Island, 80 degrees. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 82, 81 in Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. In Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rumkey, and Georgetown, Exuma, they have a temperature of 82 degrees, 82s also in Ragged Island, Clarenstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 81, Acklands, 81, Matthew Town, Inagua, 83 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 81. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center for all areas tonight through tomorrow, which is Thursday. The winds are going to be southeast to south. Speeds around 12 to 18 knots. The wave height 3 to 6 feet. We'll keep caution flags in place for your boaters through Thursday. High tide will take place at 35 minutes past midnight. You can expect a low tide at 7:07 in the morning. And then on Friday in the northwestern parts of our country, the winds are going to be south to southwest ahead of an approaching front, which will go through sometime on Friday afternoon. The speeds around 10 to 15 knots, and those winds will shift out of the northwest behind the front. Low tide, that will take place at 8:01 in the morning with a high tide at 1:47 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Friday, southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots and the wave height 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
They call me hot cake. I'm in a poor state, yet I stay on backyard, they hardly feed me. Sometimes I'm so thirsty. They say I ain't got no pedigree. They don't love me, they only know me when they need me. They don't love me, they only know me when they need me.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Breakaway and run, you should see them.
Anything you need, we got you covered. Say the word and we'll come through. So if you need coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Just go out and do it. It's your life, so just live it. So anything you want, you can get it. It's time to get it right. So we rolling with BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we going with BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we choosing BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we rolling with BAF for life. BAF for life. If you want coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Yes, that's the best choice. BAF, that's BAF for life.
Isn't it great when your favorites are on special at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets? Bahama long grain rice, 20 pounds, $14.99. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.59. Olivia vegetable or canola oil, 48 ounce, $4.99. Pork chop ends, $2.29 per pound. Tree ripe orange juice, 52 ounce, $2.99. Find your favorites at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
My name is Alicia Poitea, and I've been using the Molfix brand for almost 10 years now. What I love about the Molfix brand is that it is of great quality, and I currently use it on my 2-year-old and my 5-month-old. I haven't had any issues with irritability or rashes or anything of that sort. What I love most about the Molfix brand is that I get value for money, and that to me is awesome.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them.
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Hungry and looking for something so satisfying? Something to truly tantalize your taste buds? Then make it Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. Also serving up a variety of delicious wings, freshly cooked to order under 10 minutes. With 2 locations to serve you. Mall at Marathon, open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And the East-West Highway, next to Solomon's, from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. That's Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. 393-3100.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Every journey starts with the first step, and mine starts here. I believed in Tokyo, the belief that we could be the best. We are drenched in Bahamian pride, no matter where we go. In 5 years, Alive built the Bahamas' best network, delivering faster speeds and stronger connections to all 700 islands and keys. Alive believed that every Bahamian deserved a world-class network and excellent customer service. I
am proud to be Director of Speed and Connection.
Tony Miller-Weibo is total class. Look at her go. What a win.
As we continue to improve our lightning-fast, world-class network and connect with art, culture, and the world around us, never stop dreaming and never stop believing.
Started with today's lesson. Bobby, can you tell me the national bird of the Bahamas?
Miss J, we can't hear Bobby because he's fooling around with the other guys.
All right now, y'all settle down. That's okay, Bobby. I'll have a talk with your mom. It's time to transform the way you learn.
Transform the way you learn and improve your in-home Wi-Fi coverage with Eero.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your sports on this Wednesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. Bahamian infielder Lucius Fox has been officially named to the opening day roster for the Washington Nationals. The Nationals recalled Fox from AAA Rochester on Monday and informed him that he will be included on the opening day roster. This according to Mark Zuckerman of MASN Sports. Washington was already looking to bring aboard another utility infielder with Ihayer Adrianza on track to open the season on the injured list, and that need became greater after Alcides Escobar was held out of Monday's Grapefruit League game against the Cardinals due to a stiff neck. As a result, the Nationals elected to reverse their previous transaction involving Fox, who was optioned to Rochester a week ago. Fox has risen several spots in his brief time with the Washington Nationals, is now ranked number 23 in the organization's prospect list. He was ranked number 25 when he was claimed off waivers by the Nationals in December. 24-year-old hit the Nationals' first home run of spring training with a solo shot in the ninth inning of their 6-2 loss to the New York Mets. He followed with a game-tying double in the eighth inning of its 3-2 win over the Houston Astros. Now, the Nationals are expected to open the season tomorrow against the New York Mets. Team Bahamas hops into the pool at the Barbados Aquatic Center next week. There will be a lot of new faces aiming to secure the Bahamas' sixth championship in the last 7 contests. Household names and national stalwarts have been replaced with hungry and eager competitors looking to make a name for themselves. We spoke with a trio of young swimmers about their expectations for this year's games.
Just want to do my best, try to bring home some medals. And just win some points for Team Bahamas.
I'm going to go there and do well, try and get a medal in events, and cheer for my team, wish them all the best.
Well, my expectations is that I could swim fast, drop time, and probably break a record. I don't really know. I'll try.
And for Singh, he says the practices have been intense.
The practices are really hard, and it's getting harder, but then it's going to drop down a little bit next week because we're going to taper.
They also said they are looking forward to enjoying the island outside of the competition.
Been to Barbados for Goodwill Games, but I know it's going to be fun, make some memories and swim our hearts out.
I think it's going to be like a cool trip, and even if I don't do what I hope to do, I'm still have fun.
In that same vein, Sunwell Limited making a major donation to the Bahamas Aquatics Federation just ahead of the team's departure for Bridgetown, Barbados. Over the weekend, Sunwell marketing manager Fabian Fernander saying that Sunwell is committed to its corporate citizenship program and their role in youth and national development through supporting initiatives like the Bahamas Aquatics Program. They hope to achieve this mission of investing in the communities and truly fueling journeys that matter, adding they applaud the discipline and sportsmanship of Team Bahamas and wish them much luck at the 2022 Carifta Aquatics Championships. And Kai Jones completed a dominant rookie season in the NBA G League with the Greensboro Swarm and was recalled to the Charlotte Hornets following the season finale. Jones finished with 14 points, 12 rebounds, 4 block shots, and 2 steals in the Swarm's 119-113 loss to the Raptors 905. In 24 games with the Swarm this season, Jones averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, 2 block shots, 1 steal a game while shooting 63% from the field and 31% from the three-point range. The Swarm finished just 9-23 and will miss the G League playoffs, but Jones will join the club for the final week of the regular season. Jones recently scored a career-high 30 points and grabbed 9 rebounds in a 139-119 win over the Long Island Nets on March 27th at the Greensboro Coliseum. With the official launch of the Bahamas Games Golden Jubilee this week, stakeholders are hoping that the event can help unite the country amid the hardships endured by the Bahamas over the past 2 years. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, speaking to that point.
To unite the country together, all those scattered of islands to come together as one and see how strong we are united as one nation. And even though we are separate and apart from water, it's very important for us to come back together. You know, COVID has teaches all of us something. You know, hurricanes has devastated some of these islands. And so once again, we believe the 6th anniversary coincide with the 50th celebration, but allow persons to forget about the past and cherish the present moments and look forward to the future. And so for us coming together as one, once again, through the disciplines and through sports, is once again will give us that feeling of being proud to be a Bahamian and also celebrating that Golden Jubilee year.
And that's when we look at sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is
It's raining specials this April at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Libby Spaghetti and Meatballs, 15-ounce, $1.29. Rainbow Mackerel, 15-ounce, $1.69. Red Seedless Grapes, $1.99 per pound. Premium boneless chuck steak or roast, $6.99 per pound. Great American Raw Shrimp, 12-ounce, $5.99. April is a great month to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day and kicked off World Autism Month. This special month is celebrated by wearing the color blue, which is meant to increase and understand the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which appears to be one of the fastest growing development disability affecting Bahamian children. 1 in every 68 children are affected, with boys being 4 times more likely.
Although a lot of research is being conducted on this disorder, there remains a lot that needs to be done. As parents of an autistic child, we recognize that ASD is definitely more about his abilities rather than any perceived disabilities. These kids are unique in every way, shape, and form. They have the ability to love more and to be loved more and bring people from all walks of life together to show love and support for this community.
KO Bahamas Business Solutions
and Alive supports World Autism Month.
Elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate.
This year, as a part of our Safer Internet Day exercises, we hosted our first ever video essay competition. The turnout was spectacular and the responses amazing.
To prepare for the competition, my mom she was helping me, and she did most of the ideas, but after she did write it, I read over it, and she wanted me to see all the mistakes she did, and it was kind of difficult, but I still made it through.
Look, it's amazing to see the students come out and the effort they put into these videos, right? So super pleased to see such a large participation from the elementary schools. So 3 of the elementary schools were part of the winners, as well as one of our high school students. So look, it's an amazing thing. And Safer Internet Day for us is important because obviously being a broadband provider and certainly making sure that kids are really taking secure internet safety seriously, rather. I think it's an important event that we host every year. So one of the things that I thought was really impressive was how the kids were able to articulate the things that they need to do to stay safe on the internet. And it was really great to see in those video essays.
And to our students everywhere, we wish to remind you to make sure that you practice all safety measures while on the internet. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corvell Pyfrom. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Elevate.
The COVID-19 pandemic isn't over yet. COVID-19 vaccines and boosters are now available at South Beach Clinic on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. On Wednesday at Flamingo Gardens Clinic, 1 to 5 p.m. Elizabeth Estates Clinic, 3 to 6 p.m. and Fleming Street from 4 to 6 p.m. And at the mall at Marathon, Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Visit vax.gov.bs to book your appointment. Walk-ins are welcome. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, PAHO, WHO, and USA.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, some pre-frontal activity will be moving into the Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco areas tonight through tomorrow. The front itself is expected to move over the Grand Bahama, Abaco area on Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon early, we expect that to push through the capital, and that will usher in a nice cool down over the weekend. Our forecast for tonight calls for clear and humid conditions. That's primarily here in the capital. Again, as we said, around Grand Bahama and Abaco, they could get some showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be heavy at times. The low temperature tonight around 74 degrees, and tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny. The winds will slowly die down in the afternoon hours, but it's going to remain somewhat humid. 87 degrees for your high temperature and extended weather forecast. We expect a lot of the wet stuff on Friday as a result of that front coming through. Temperatures dropping into the 60s during the nighttime Saturday and on Saturday. So the weekend is looking pretty nice and comfortable for us. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.